So this is a single grass block in the end dimension. And this is the end if the whole thing was transformed to be completely covered in grass. The end island in my hardcore world is too boring, so I think it's about time we did some building. In today's video, I aim to transform my end island from this bland empty rock to a space that is full of life and color. This is transforming the end into the overworld in hardcore Minecraft. So Christmas is coming up. You want to know what you should get me? A big fat subscribe to the channel. No, but seriously, if you do go on to enjoy this video, subscribing is absolutely free and I promise you won't regret it. Because I upload stuff just like this all of the time. Oh, and Merry Christmas. Enjoy the video. G'day guys, my name is WadZee and welcome back to Hardcore Minecraft. What was that? You thought we were done with this series? Of course not. So if you're not aware, in the last couple of episodes, I actually finished off all of the achievements in the game, and that's including, take a look, we got it. Okay, no need to rush. We just need to make sure we get this bit right. No rush. Just shoot me. Okay, go, 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 go. We did it. Oh, we did it. We've done every advancement there is in the game. So now I've technically finished hardcore Minecraft. So the question is, what do you do when you've finished Minecraft? But before we can answer that question, we of course have to add another 200 melons to the melon farm for today. So let's get right to it. And it's actually super helpful that we're doing this now because this will come in handy for what we're trying to do later on in this video. I want all of this dirt. Give me all of it. Do this at the start of every episode, so if you want to see how big this melon farm ends up getting, and oh my, it's massive, make sure to subscribe. And with that out of the way, let's get into what we're actually going to be doing in today's video. I've done a lot of crazy and ridiculous stuff in this world. I mean, I've even built a full netherite beacon, but something I haven't done enough of in this world is just building. So today, that's all we're going to be doing, trying to make something really cool and creative in our end island by creating a miniature overworld biome in the end. And what's great about this melon farm is over time we've dug up so much of the terrain, we've got so much dirt and grass from it, but we finally have a use for all this dirt and grass we've been collecting. So I'm going to quickly fill up a few shulker boxes full of this stuff. Give me it all. Alright, so now we've got a fair bit of dirt and grass, and we've got plenty more if we need to come back and get more. But that should be enough to make a decent start. Let's go head over to our end. Alright, so when I say I want to transform the end, I don't mean the entire end. The plan for this build is I want to replace all the end stone within the perimeter of our obsidian pillars here with grass, and then I'll build up some kind of walls around it, so we'll have a central area here where everything is just grass. Before we can do that though, it seems like we're gonna have to do a bit of tidying up from the last video. Now there's a couple of ways I was thinking about going about this. One idea would be just going around and just placing grass on top of every end stone, which would honestly be the easiest way. The alternative would be to actually fully individually break every piece of end stone and replace it with grass. I don't really know if there's much point to doing it like that, to be honest. Although maybe we should. Alright, so I'm back and I've tied it up around my end portal now, which is good. And I think I've decided on the strategy I'm going to go with. And I think I'm actually going to break and replace every single block. The whole point is I'm turning the end into the overworld. And if I'm just placing blocks on top, that's not really turning the end into the overworld. That's just covering the end in overworld. Okay, so this is one of the problems I know I'm going to run into. Because I'm placing grass blocks, I'm not limiting the ability for Endermen to spawn in this area, and grass and dirt blocks are blocks that Endermen can easily pick up. I know this kind of area is going to get scrambled a bit by the Endermen, but I'm hoping it's not too much of an issue. Alright, so as I run around here, you'll see I've done most of the perimeters for the terrain, and the Endermen are just being absolute nuisances. Picking up and putting random dirt all over the place. It's whatever. But a good thing that we should probably determine now is kind of the perimeter of where we stop between our obsidian pillars. So I'm gonna purposefully go along and figure this out right now. Alright, so now we've got our perimeter sorted out all around the outside in between our pillars. Now it's like a coloring book. You know, we can pick an area. For example, over here, this will be a perfect example. And now I can just go ahead and dig out the entire center. And then all at once, I can fill it in with dirt and grass. There you go, a little piece of overworld right here in our end dimension. So this is what our project is looking like so far, and as you can see, we still have a lot of work to go. Something I just realized is in the end, the light level of all the blocks is literally 0, and I'm fairly certain grass won't spread with a light level of 0. In fact, I haven't even checked if grass will spread in the end dimension. But something I'm gonna have to make sure I do is spread some damn torches around, get some light in here. Otherwise, we'll just have patches of grass and dirt everywhere, and it'll be disgusting. Alright, this is actually coming along quite fast. We're over halfway there. We've just got to do that top left side of the area and wait for all the grass to spread, and we'll be done with the grass. Alright, so here's where we're at. This will be the final little update before this whole grass area is finished. We just need to go around the edges here and do that whole top left corner over there. But yeah, we're getting close to done. This has been not as painful as I thought.
2,000 years later.
I don't know how long it took me, but we were finally done with just placing all the grass and dirt in the end. But there was still quite a lot of work to do. Before we could do anything though, we had to figure out a way to stop the Enderman from ruining everything. So I've actually gone ahead and I've done some tests. I've tried different ways to stop Enderman from being able to take the blocks. And if you don't know, they can only take blocks that are on the very edge. So I tried a couple of things. I tried putting carpet here, but that didn't stop them. So I had this other idea. So let's head into the overworld. Well, my idea was actually to use some green wool. Maybe we can use some lime green as well. That might be a little too bright. The idea was really simple. Since wool blocks are a block Enderman cannot pick up, if I just went around the edge of all my grass with this green wool, it would prevent them from ever being able to pick up my grass. And it also kind of blends in. It still kind of looks like grass. It's obviously a different block, but it stops Enderman from ever picking the stuff up, and therefore it'll preserve it forever. So it makes it look a lot less authentic, I guess. It's definitely a good alternative because all the Endermen were definitely annoying. And having to constantly replace the blocks, yeah, that was going to be an issue. So I think this is a good solution. Oh yeah, this looks cool. I actually like it better with the wool for some reason. With the groundwork done, now it was time to try our best to make this actually look good. Alright, so the next thing we're going to add to our end project is some more natural things. So I've got some bones for bone meal, some saplings, some flowers, and I've come over here to our flower biome here to just get just a huge range of flowers. I'm just going to grab as many flowers as I can of every sort. Alright, so first things first, we got to start adding some bone meal to this place and getting some tall grass. I don't like the too high grass. There's nothing more annoying than too high grass, so I'm gonna break all that. But having some nice, luscious, tall grass looks good. Alright, now we've got some lush green grass all over the place. It's looking great. It's looking a lot more natural, a lot more green. The next step, and this is where stuff is gonna look a lot better, is we're gonna start adding some trees. Just gonna place them in completely random spots, and however they grow, that's how they're gonna grow. I'll try and spread them out a bit. We don't have the most bone meal right now, so I'll have to keep it pretty minimal for now, but we could potentially add a heap of trees to this. All right, now for the color, we gotta spread out some flowers all over the place. Now that I'm spreading out these flowers, I'm starting to think I actually didn't pick up enough. I definitely could have picked up more. The issue is there's some I have heaps of, and then some I have like barely any of. Alright, well that's all the flowers I brought. I don't know if it's enough. It's probably plenty, honestly. I don't know, maybe if I did more, I would be overdoing it. Let me know what you guys think, but for now, that looks pretty decent. We've got some grass, some flowers, some trees. It's really starting to look like, you know, a pretty awesome plains biome. Doesn't that just looks great. The torches kind of ugly it up a bit, but I don't really know how I would light it up otherwise. And the torches are kind of important because we need them to stop the Enderman from spawning. So now we had technically transformed our end dimension into the overworld, but we weren't done yet. There were still a handful of things I wanted to do to make this a lot cooler. Alright, so a lake is going to be fun because we're gonna have to dig up some of the grass we've worked so hard to place. But I've actually planned it out. You can see I've left quite an empty spot here. I've planned it out because I want to put my lake here. So I'm gonna dig out a space. Alright, how's that for a lake? What do we want? It's a bit too skinny. I think I definitely want it to come down this way a lot more. Alright, that's it. That's going to be our lake. That looks quite significant. I'm quite happy with that. So while it's 1 block deep, I'm going to add all the water in now. So now all we have to work on doing is giving our lake some depth. Alright, so now that we've dug the depth of our lake, all we gotta do now is just put 1 layer of dirt over the whole thing. Alright, and just like that, our lake is now done. We've got a totally natural looking lake here in the end. It's bloody awesome. Oh, what would be cool is if we go ahead and get some lily pads for this as well. Now that would be sick. But for now I've brought some sugarcane. I don't even know if this stuff will grow in the end, so I'm just gonna make it 3 tall myself. Now with our very own lake complete, there was only a couple more things I wanted to add to our build. Alright, I've gone ahead and I've got myself plenty of materials to build a house with, but to begin with, what's more important is we need to place lily pads everywhere. Now let's build a house. Now after working on it for a while, I've finally finished our house here in the end, and here it is. I mean, it's small, it's not that impressive, but I think it's pretty sweet. I've used a few different building techniques that I don't usually use, although it is pretty similar to what I usually build. And if I head inside, you can see I've even done a bit of an interior, and these beds are extremely cursed because obviously we are in the end, and if I do ever sleep in these, they will explode and destroy the whole house. So I need to remember that this is not the overworld, and this actually is the end, and I cannot touch those beds. But yeah, that is our house. So since we've already got a bunch of cobblestone here, I figured we could just begin by kind of figuring out some boundaries. So let's do exactly that. Alright, so this can be farm number 1 over here. It's quite a nice size, pretty decent. And that just leaves one more little farm patch that we can plot out here. Try and make this one quite square. Alright, now it's time to just get hoeing. Alright, so now that all that's done, all that's left for us to do is to put down some seeds. Obviously, as I already mentioned, I want this first farm to be wheat, and I want it all to be fully grown because it'll look sick. And now just to plant our carrots. Oh, please have enough. Oh, thank you. So that's our little carrot farm done. And now before I waste all of my bone meal trying to grow all of these completely, I actually wanted to plant a few more trees. Now, it's time to waste all of my bone meal trying to fully grow this wheat farm. So now we had a complete biome in the end, covered in grass, flowers, trees, and with an awesome lake, a house, and a couple of farms as well. And we've got plenty of room to add more if we want. Now there was just a couple more finishing touches I wanted to make before we'd be done for today. Alright, our sweet little taste of Overworld now has a nice endstone brick border surrounding the whole thing, but I don't plan to keep it like that. There's changes I'm gonna make to the wall, but for now there's one last thing I want to do that's not the wall. When I enter the end, this is the room I get brought to. And I've been going up this little staircase like this. So what I actually wanted to create instead is a cave, a tunnel that leads from here and ends up joining inside our wall in the overworld part. That's the plan. That's the final thing we've got to do. Alright, this bit's gonna be fun, but I'm literally gonna mine through this obsidian. I am going to do that, because I can. Alright, so now that we've dug a tunnel that goes pretty much all the way into our overworld biome, there's one last thing I gotta do. And that's smelt up just so much stone. Alright, so now every time I come to the end, I'm gonna spawn in here and I'll walk this way through this amazing cave. I'll come all the way up and out here. And what do you know? Here I am in my little overworld biome in the end. So this is what our end island looked like at the start of today. And this is what it looks like now. So there you have it, we are finally done. I mean, obviously the build isn't perfect, there is so much I could do to make it better, but I've been working on it for so long already, so that's going to be it for today. Let me know what you guys thought of this video. It's obviously a little different to what I usually do because I don't often do these building projects, but I do really enjoy building in Minecraft, and there's not much else for me to do in this world. And if you are new here and you've watched this far, maybe consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot, and it means you can see more videos just like this. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Cheers.